Abe is staking his administration on a fresh blueprint for a new economic growth strategy. Central to the plan is drawing on the potential of women so they can maximize their contribution to society. Abe says he would like to completely eliminate the waiting list to get into nurseries, so that mothers will have a place to take their children if they want to work, and he is placing a renewed emphasis on creating a center to promote the latest advances in medical technology. Also on his to-do list is freeing up students so they will be able to study rather than spending so much time looking for jobs, and creating a new Pan-Asian culture. When the Prime Minister went to a meeting earlier today, he was accompanied by movie director and celebrity Takeshi Kitano. The two men were taking part in a discussion on measures for strengthening ties with other Asian countries through cultural exchange. Abe says he would like everyone's input on ways to create a new Asian culture.
Takeshi Kitano says that most of the things that he says is not really useful, but he is the only one who can speak vulgar things in an appropriate way, and Prime Minister Abe is going very strong right now, so he seems to be determined to cover culture exchange as well.
In a speech at the Japan National Press Club this afternoon, Shinzo Abe announced the thinking behind an economic growth strategy to be compiled around June of this year. He made a speech at the Japan National Press Club this afternoon. He says it's time to shoot the third arrow, a growth strategy. The three key words in the plan: challenge, internationalism, and innovation. More specifically, Abe says Japan is undisputedly the world's #1 country when it comes to iPS cell research and use, as exemplified by the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine awarded to Professor Shinya Yamanaka. But the nation falls far behind when it comes to practical applications. The Prime Minister says Japan needs an organization like the NIH in the United States, which promotes national projects to develop the latest medical technology. Abe is hoping to model his proposed organization after the National Institutes for Health in the United States. The NIH is the umbrella organization that oversees research projects from their inception to their practical application. Experts evaluate the necessity of each proposal and allocate funding to universities and research institutes. Professor Tsuyoshi Miyakawa at the Fujita Health University had an opportunity to visit the NIH in the past. He says the names of people who have received funding from the NIH and have been awarded Nobel Prizes are listed on the first floor of the building. Over 100 people are on the list. He says he has long hoped something like the NIH would be set up in Japan. Abe is also suggesting that companies should postpone their job fairs until March for third-year university students, and also postpone the first interviews and hiring until August for fourth-year students. That way, students will be able to study abroad and not have to stay in Japan simply to go job hunting. He says younger people who study abroad should be valued, not placed at a disadvantage. He says he has asked 3 major business organizations, including the Japan Business Federation, for their understanding. He says they have replied that they will consider cooperation. Abe says he would like to help younger people develop their potential and find jobs that will let them realize that potential. The centerpiece of Abe's new growth strategy is the role of women. He says the most neglected human resource in Japan is women. The Prime Minister says he strongly believes that fully opening up the high potential dormant within women will be the driving force that places a stagnant Japan on the growth track once again. Abe says he wants to reduce the number of children who are waiting to get into nursery schools. He has suggested he would like to extend assistance to private nursery facilities and by 2017 eliminate the overflow of children who have not been able to get into nursery schools. He says about 25,000 children have not been able to get into nursery schools in Japan. He says it's a serious problem, but the Yokohama municipality offers a good model. It used to have the longest waiting list in the country to get into nursery school, but in just 3 years it has reduced the waiting list to 0. Yokohama Mayor Fumiko Hayashi has been instrumental in eliminating the waiting list for nursery schools. She says she's thrilled Yokohama has been an encouragement to the central government to decide it will eliminate the waiting list to get into nursing school. She says she would like to cooperate in every way possible. The Prime Minister is prodding the Japanese people to embrace his pillars for growth. He says he trusts in the capacity of the Japanese people, and he will draw up growth strategies and boldly implement them. His leadership will be put to the test as he tries to prove his strategies really work.